Good evening, class. We are going to continue working on multiplying fractions in tonight's homework. This is Module 5, Lesson number 7, and our objective is to find the product of a whole number and a mixed number using the distributive property. So make sure you have a scratch paper or a whiteboard so that you can take notes and practice along with me. First, I'm going to start with the fraction 3 and 1/5, and I can model this using a tape diagram. I have my 3 wholes and 1/5. Now, if I want to multiply this by 2, basically all I'm saying is I have 2 equal groups of 3 and 1/5. So if I duplicate this tape model, so I have 2 equal groups, I have 2 3 wholes, and I have 2 of my 1/5, I would be able to arrive at the answer. Now, I can rearrange these because we know with the rules of multiplication, it doesn't matter what order the factors are in, your product will still be the same. So to make things easier for myself, I can put my whole numbers together, and then I can put the fractions, the fractional parts together as well. So I have my 3 whole, 1/5, and 1/5. So now I can write this as a multiplication sentence. I have 2 equal groups of 3, which is represented in my tape diagram here, 2 equal groups of 3. And I'm going to add that to my 2 equal groups of 1/5. So we already know how to multiply this very easily. 2 times 3 is 6. And we have already practiced multiplying a whole number by a unit fraction. So 2 times 1 would be 2. So 2 times 1/5 would end up being 2/5. So my final answer is 6 whole and 2/5. So let's try another one. Let's do the problem 5 and 2/10. So first I'm going to draw a tape diagram to model my 5, and then I'm going to add on the fractional part, the 2/10. Now, let's say I was multiplying this by 3. So now I have 3 equal groups of 5 and 2/5. So I'm going to draw this a total of 3 times. Or I'm sorry, 5 and 2/10. Okay, and if I rearrange these, you can see that I have 1, 2, 3 5s. So I can write that as 3 equal groups of 5. And then I'm going to add the fractional parts. And each of these fractional parts has the same value. It's 2/10, and I have 1, 2, 3 equal groups of 2/10. So 3 times 2/10. And when I multiply these each individually, 3 times 5 is 15, and I'm going to add that by 3 times 2/10, which is 6/10. And my final answer is 15 and 6/10. Now we have a new example. Here we have 3 times 7 and 3/4. So I can separate my 7 and 3/4 as 7 plus 3/4, and I'm multiplying 3 times that. So this is why we call it the distributive property, because I'm taking the number of equal groups and I'm passing it out to the 7, I'm distributing it out to the 3/4. So I'm going to rewrite this number sentence as 3 times 7 plus 3 times 3/4, which is just like we've done on the previous slides. So here when I multiply 3 times 7, I get 21. 3 times 3/4 is 9/4. So this ends up being 21 plus 9/4. Now, before I write my final answer as 21 and 9/4, I want to look at this carefully and realize that this is an improper fraction, and we don't want to combine these so it's a whole number with an improper fraction. So I'm going to decompose this and turn this into a mixed number. So in 4/4, I have 2 groups of 4/4, so I'm going to have 2 whole and 1/4. I just converted my 9/4 to a mixed number. So now all I have to do is take the 21, add it to that mixed number, and I end up with 23 and 1/4. fourth as my final answer.